Welcome to VLearn. This is session number 1 of software quality and testing. On chapter is Introduction to Software Testing. In this session we are going to cover topics Introduction, why do we test, purpose of testing, most common software problems, what is testing, approaches to testing. Now, we start with the introduction of testing. Basically, software testing is a critical element of software quality assurance and represent the ultimate process to ensure the correctness of the product. अगर किसी भी प्रोडक्ट को हम जितनी बार चेक करेंगे उसमें जितनी कमियां हम सॉल्व करेंगे उतनी ही सॉफ्टवेयर की क्वालिटी इम्प्रूव होती है. तो इस सॉफ्टवेयर में हम जो भी एरर्स होते हैं जितने ज़्यादा हम एरर्स फाइंड आउट कर लेते हैं टेस्टिंग के थ्रू विच वी विल इंक्रीज द क्वालिटी ऑफ द सॉफ्टवेयर. So the quality product always enhances the customer confidence in using the product, thereby increase the business economics. जैसे कि आप जानते हैं कस्टमर आपका सेटिस्फेक्शन होना बहुत ज़रूरी है और कस्टमर सेटिस्फेक्शन तभी होती है when it get the quality in the product. So in the software we can provide the quality with the help of testing, and in other words a good quality product means zero defect, which is derived from the better quality process in testing. Here the definition of testing is not well understood till now, but the people use a totally incorrect definition of the word testing. And that is the primary use cause for poor programming testing. An example of this definition are such as this: testing is the process of demonstrating that errors are not present. The purpose of testing is to show the program perform as the intent of function correctly, and testing is the process of establishing confidence that the program does what it's supposed to do. That's why do we test? Here to mitigate the business risk that have been आइडेंटिफाइड. आपको बताएं हम टेस्ट क्यों कर रहे हैं, ताकि हम कस्टमर की सेटिस्फेक्शन एंड क्वालिटी प्रोवाइड कर सकें. हेयर द वैलिडेट सॉफ्टवेयर क्वालिटी. सेकेंड इज वेरीफाई इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ बिजनेस प्रोसेस. थर्ड इज रिड्यूस टाइम टू मार्केट. एंड फोर्थ इज कॉम्पिटिटिव पर्पस. जैसे कि वैलिडेट सॉफ्टवेयर क्वालिटी एंड वेरीफाई. So first of all, I want to clarify the meaning of validate and verify. Verify is to done in the beginning. कोई भी टास्क अगर हम शुरुआत करते हैं उससे पहले हम आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं कि जो हम बनाने जा रहे हैं क्या वो ठीक है, इज इट करेक्ट. सो दैट इज़ द वेरीफाई. या और वैलिडेट में क्या होता है, जो हम कंप्लीट होने के बाद चेक करते हैं कि जो हमने अभी तक बनाया क्या वो ठीक है. दैट इज़ आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग मीन एंड before to deliver the customer. That is the validation. So here the validate software quality means हमें डिलीवर करने से पहले चेक करना होता है कि क्या हमारा सॉफ्टवेयर इज अप्रोप्रिएट है, वर्किंग प्रॉपरली, एंड देयर इज अ क्वालिटी मीन्स मैक्सिमम नंबर ऑफ एरर्स शुड बी रिमूव्ड. एंड वेरीफाई इंटीग्रेट ऑफ बिजनेस प्रोसेस टू चेक बिफोर इज व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डेवलप इज गुड और नॉट. दैट रिड्यूस टाइम टू मार्केट. हम टेस्ट आगे करते हैं ताकि हमारे ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाए, एंड इट्स टाइम टू रिड्यूस टू मार्केट. एंड कॉम्पिटिटिव पर्पस, ताकि हमारी कंपटीशन जैसे आपको इतना बढ़ता है और आप कंपटीशन में जितनी हाई क्वालिटी प्रोवाइड करते हैं दैट इज़ मच बेटर. सो टू इंश्योर बिजनेस यूजिबिलिटी ऑफ द सॉफ्टवेयर दे आर द रिलीज लो एरर नॉन एरर सॉफ्टवेयर. दे द मूव हाई क्वालिटी सॉफ्टवेयर दैट मीट्स और एक्सीड क्वालिटी एक्सपेक्टेशन इनटू प्रोडक्ट. And the third, demonstrate the usefulness of new technology. जैसे कि हमने ऊपर बताया हम एक टेस्ट क्यों कर रहे हैं, टू इंश्योर बिजनेस यूजिबिलिटी ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर. बिजनेस में वो सॉफ्टवेयर हमारे अच्छे से यूज़ हो सकें जिसमें हमारे एरर्स ना हो, टू प्रोवाइड हाई क्वालिटी सॉफ्टवेयर, एंड जितने भी हमारी जो टेक्नोलॉजी यूजफुल नहीं है दैट इज टू बी रिमूव, एंड टू प्रोवाइड द गुड टेक्नोलॉजीज इन द सॉफ्टवेयर. Here the testing is about testing software is operation the software under controlled condition. What to be controlled here? The first is verify that it behave as specified, and second to detect errors. Third, to validate that what has been specified is what the user actually wanted. These three are the main point. जैसे कि फर्स्ट हमें वेरीफाई करना होता है व्हाट इट बिहेव, कैसा वो वर्क होगा, एंड अगर होगा तो उसके अकॉर्डिंग हमारा प्रोसेस स्टार्ट होता है, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट वी नीड टू डिटेक्ट एरर्स. जितने ज़्यादा हम एरर्स फाइंड आउट करेंगे दैट इज विल इम्प्रूव द क्वालिटी. So and the third, we do validate, which is the, as previous slide I tell you, that is in the end process before to deliver the customer, to validate that what has been specified is that what the user actually wanted. So that's we work the main in the testing. So what is the main purpose of testing is that to show the software works. It is known as demonstration oriented. Here the step, let's see again. What say that? To show the software work. That means test all functions that are used to run the software which produce the result. These functions, basically I mean to here to show the software works, to test all functions which in the software involved are to run the software which produce result, and these functions are directly related to the business functions. So here all path of software system is not tested. For example, there may be an error routine which trap the errors during the execution. So this may not be necessary to test as it is not relevant to daily routine of the software. Next point is to show the software does not work. It is known as destruction oriented. Means here destruction oriented means in this case, all functions including non-business functions are tested to discover the possible errors. Even non-routine functions are also tested. Exceptions are also tested, and however, once a single error is detected, the testing process will stop. So this is about here to show the software doesn't work. And the third point, to minimize the risk of not working up to an acceptable level, that is known as evaluation oriented. Exactly right. Here sometimes the entire software will not be tested due to the many reasons like inadequate and the time, and however all the functions which are critical from the business point of view to the customer will be tested. So the acceptable level is the mutually agreed in term of between customer and here the developer. So this was the purpose of testing, and the next is the why need for testing, because there is the poor understanding and incomplete requirements and unrealistic schedule, fast changes in requirement, and too many assumptions and compliances. Actually, what about in here we are discussing need for testing. The defect can exist in the software. As we know, whenever the person is developing any software, he and she don't know what is going to wrong. So that is to be detected by one another party and another person. So defect can exist in the software as it is developed by human who can make mistake during the development of software. However, it is the primary duty of software vendor to ensure that software delivered does not have defect and the customer day-to-day operation do not get affected. So this can be achieved by rigorously testing the software. The most common here are the mentioned the testing needed in the front of you in the slide that mentioned that already. Poor understanding and incomplete requirement. The person who is developing maybe is something lacking about their knowledge, and the unrealistic schedule that is create the problem. फास्ट चेंजेस इन रिक्वायरमेंट, अगर हम कोई कस्टमर की रिक्वायरमेंट बहुत ज़्यादा चेंजेस करते हैं दैट ऑल्सो मे कॉज द एरर्स, एंड टू मैनी assumption and complacency create the problem. Here the most common software problems that arise are these. First is the incorrect calculation can be arise, incorrect data added and ineffective data edits. Third, incorrect matching and merging of data. The fourth, data searches that yield incorrect result. Fifth, incorrect processing of data relationship. Sixth, incorrect coding implementation of business rules. And the seventh, inadequate software performance. वट ऑल दिस अगेन आई एम टेलिंग यू इन द शॉर्ट. आप कुछ भी कैलकुलेशन मिस्टेक दिखा रहा है, कोई आपकी एडिटिंग इफेक्टिव नहीं है, कोई मिस्टेक्स उसमें आ रही है, डाटा मैच नहीं हुआ है या आपने मर्ज करा है अलग अलग तो डाटा ठीक से वर्क नहीं कर रहा है, कुछ रिसर्चिंग उसमें इनकरेक्ट रिजल्ट शो कर रहे हैं, आप कुछ सर्च कर रहे हैं बट इट गिव यू समथिंग डिफरेंट, इनकरेक्ट प्रोसेसिंग हो सकती है, दैट मे बाय द डाटा रिलेशनशिप, मे बी इनकरेक्ट कोडिंग इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ बिजनेस रूल, so their inadequate software performance. These are the problem that can arise and more are here, or are confusing or misleading data can be generated. Software usability by end user and obsolete software. आपको पता है अगर हमारे को यूज़र के एंड पे हमें अगर सॉफ्टवेयर में प्रॉब्लम्स मिलती हैं देन यूज़र विल बी नॉट सेटिस्फाइड एंड देयर द प्रॉब्लम इज अराइजेस मेनली. सो इनकंसिस्टेंट प्रोसेसिंग हेयर, अनरिलायबल रिजल्ट और परफॉर्मेंस, inadequate support of business needs, incorrect or inadequate interfaces with other systems, inadequate performance and security controls, incorrect file handling. So these are the most common problem that can arise for the errors. नेक्स्ट वर्ड इज़ द बेसिक टेस्टिंग. जैसे कि आपको स्टार्टिंग में हमने टेस्टिंग में कर रहे हैं बस एरर फाइंड आउट कर रहे हैं, बट द मेन वे इज व्हाट इज टेस्टिंग इज दैट टेस्टिंग इज एन एक्टिविटी इन विच अ सिस्टम और कंपोनेंट इज एग्जीक्यूटेड अंडर स्पेसिफाइड कंडीशन. हाँ, आप किसी भी सॉफ्टवेयर को टेस्ट कर रहे हैं तो मतलब आप उसकी जो कोडिंग एरिया है आप उसको एग्जीक्यूट कर रहे हैं, आप उसमें ऑब्जर्व कर रहे हैं वाई बाय सिंगल लाइन. Maybe there's some error exists, you don't know, but you are getting result correctly, but some error may be hide inside the code that can be arise later. So their testing is an activity in which a system or component is executed under specified conditions. The result are observed and recorded and an evaluation is made of some aspect of the system or component. There are some approaches to the testing are the basically here the many approaches that have been defined in the literature, and the importance of any approaches depend on the type of system in which you are testing. Some of the approaches are in the front of your slide given. The first one is debugging oriented. Basically in the debugging oriented, this approach identify the error during debugging the program. Debugging is what? When you are executing the program line by line, it show the either there's something mistake or did the working properly. So its error is during debugging the program. There is no difference between testing and debugging. Normally programmer while developing the program they also test. It is for intended for objective. आपको होता है जब कोई डेवलप करते हैं उस टाइम भी जो डेवलपर डेवलप करते हैं उस टाइम डिबगिंग के थ्रू वो एरर चेक करते हैं व्हाट ही डिड रॉन्ग. But some errors left that cannot be identified by the developer, that is identified by some other person, that can be the third party, that is called a tester. So when the program does not work as specified, they start verifying the program and identify the possible bottlenecks. So this process is known as debugging. Next point is demonstration oriented. There the purpose of testing is to show that the software works. Here the most of the time the software is demonstrated in the normal sequence flow. All the branches may not be tested. This approach is mainly to satisfy customer and no value added to the program. Next is destruction oriented. In the destruction oriented, here the purpose of testing to show software does not work. The program is tested all possible ways such as it break down at some point of execution, and it may static testing and dynamic testing. It may be testing in different platform or may be unstructured approach. टेस्टिंग में आप जो भी इसमें कर रहे हैं आपका स्ट्रक्चर चेक इस पर किया जाता है, फाइनल प्रूफ किया जाता है कि टेस्ट सॉफ्टवेयर इज़ नॉट वर्किंग, चाहे उसको हम ब्रेक करके चाहे किसी लेवल पे स्टैटिक लेवल पे डायनेमिक लेवल पे प्रूव करते हैं दैट इज़ नॉट वर्किंग. एंड नेक्स्ट इज इवोल्यूशन ओरिएंटेड. द इवोल्यूशन ओरिएंटेड द पर्पस ऑफ टेस्टिंग इज टू रिड्यूस द perceived risk of not working up to an acceptable value. Here a minimum acceptance criteria is fixed for any software by the customer. and the system is tested. So the acceptance criteria may be defined by the customer or developer. Next point is prevention oriented. It can be viewed as testing as mental discipline that result is low risk software. So it is always better to forecast the possible errors and rectify it earlier. A set of preconditions are defined by system designer at each level. So the each level was like in the software engineering. I hope you studied that system design, coding, deployment, and maintenance level. So at all these stages, they identify the possible number of error. So these are the conditions must be passed before the system could be released. This was the approaches of the testing. This is the exercise that you can try by yourself. Is code review are relevant to the software testing? Explain the process involved in the typical code review. Next question. What is software testing? Explain the purpose of testing. This is all about of today's session. We are now winding up here. Thank you so much. Happy learning. We learn.